Hello everyone, and this is my review for WWE NXT on May 6, 2015, and though the way that they presented this show is going to probably end up being a lot different than where Takeover is going to be, just because of what's been going on recently with some of the NXT guys. I would say this show overall, not knowing any of the stuff with the potential Sami Zayn's injury and Hideo Itami's injury, I would say this week's show was actually relatively a good one. I did like how they continued on with Emma and Bayley after Emma's match with Charlotte, where she lost, and then Bayley came out and it was like, oh, she kind of did the heelish thing almost, like, oh, I'm gonna help you up, and then lays out Emma and then takes back all of her things that were taken from her. So, at least a continuation on with there. They also continued on with Wesley and Blake, and Enzo Amore and Big Cass with the backstage attack when Enzo and Cass were going out for a tag match. A relatively good way of going. I think a relatively good way of going there for that for that kind of a storyline where they've been going with that tag team match. It will be a little bit more interesting to see where how they continue on with that. The contract signing with Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch was a relatively good one, even though it was a basic type of contract signing where it breaks down into a brawl in the end, like most other ones do. So it was very basic, but it was at least relatively well done, and looking forward to that going into the NXT special a little bit. The NXT special here in a couple weeks. You had a promo for a new guy coming in. I don't, since I'm not too completely familiar with some of the guys in the indie scene. This guy's apparently really big inside the indie scene as well, but they didn't really give out what his name was. So I'm not sure how to, I'm not sure how, who he was called or how he was in the indie scene. It seems a very interesting promo for him to come in and how he's worked his way into getting into NXT and everything like that. I liked what they did for the video package. It's just it'll be interesting to see who they end up calling him and how what his name and character is fully going to be here in the very near future. The main event of the night with Hideo Itami and Tyler Breeze was a really good match. I liked how they were setting up everything for the triple threat, like who was going to have momentum going into the actual NXT TakeOver special. Now, more than likely, that's going to change to a one-on-one, because from the rumor going around that Hideo Itami might have a severe shoulder injury himself, and I think it was shoulder. I think it was somewhere in the with his arm that he had an issue with that might have him be out for 6 to 8 months. So more than likely he'll be taken out of that match, and it'll just be Finn Balor and Tyler Breeze in there. And they were setting up a storyline between the two of them anyway, so it kind of works out. But it's unfortunate that Hideo Itami would suffer an injury, because you don't want to see those guys ever get injured. Anybody, really. This brings me to the other main focal point of the night, which was the two interviews between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, talking about setting up the match for the NXT TakeOver special. Two really good promos by both of these guys here, setting up for next week and setting up for the actual special, how the match would go if it goes on, because you saw what happened on Raw, and they even showed it afterwards. And I did like how they did take the time to edit that in there this week, and it's like, oh, Sami Zayn's also going to address this next week on NXT as well. So they'll probably make an announcement whether or not they had that they are going to still have the match, or whether they're going to change the match and what's it going to be. Also, you had a really good promo that will more than likely turn out to be a heel turn for Alex Riley when he comes back, because he went under with he went out with a knee surgery And the promo they cut, basically dogging the fans, everything like that, is like, oh, this is what they want, is me injured and everything. But when he comes back, more than likely full heel turn. I liked where they went with this. It just sets up for his return when he comes back, when he's able to come back from this injury as well. So overall, they did a really good job with this show. I found it fairly entertaining to watch. It was a quick, easy watch, easy to digest, and it came out relatively good this week with NXT. It's just too bad that some of these guys are getting injured and might not be able to. Well, in 2 cases, will not be able to. Maybe with Sami Zayn, he might be able to do it. Hopefully, the doctors will take the best precautions. If he can't go, he doesn't in this case, because you don't want to see those injuries further escalate just to get one particular night in there. So we'll see how everything comes off next week on NXT to set up the final NXT before the actual special, and we'll see how everything goes there. And yeah, that's my review this week for WWE NXT, and I thank you guys for watching.